Hey, folks, it's So Texas Paul. And those Republican sons of bitches got caught cheating again. They got caught cheating again. You know, in just about every video, I tell you, check your registration. You know, like old John Scott down here in Texas, he's using that same old voter purge bullshit. So I keep telling everybody, check your registration, check your registration. And it's not just Texas, that it's every state. You have to check your registration, check your documents, because Republicans are going to cheat. Well, Republicans up in Michigan are just taking it a step further. Back in June, they got caught in a Zoom call where they were bragging about how they were going to have an army of lawyers and a legion of poll watchers to interfere with the election. And they are true to their word, making it happen.
Well, don't be fearful, guys.
CNN obtained this recording of a Wayne County GOP training session over Zoom the night before the Michigan primary last month.
So you're all really undercover agents. Congratulations, that's undercover training.
It is extra training, partisan training, not just for volunteers observing elections, but including the actual paid election workers who will check in voters, hand out ballots, even help in the counting, which is why what they are being told is alarming.
There's a lot of bad stuff that's happening in this upcoming election, so we're going to have to keep our heads on a swivel and just start documenting irregularities.
The poll workers are hired by towns and clerks, and Wayne County's Republican chairperson Cheryl Costantino tells them they may need to break the rules to uncover fraud.
They were told by their trainers that they could not have their phones with them. So I would say maybe just hide it, and maybe hide a small pad and a small pen. You need to take accurate notes.
If we are observed with a pen and a piece of paper writing on anything, they just said they would ask us that they would remove us.
That's why you got to do it secretly.
This training for the primary was just practice for the upcoming midterms, according to Costantino. And it's not just what's being taught, it's who is doing the teaching.
We think a lot of the monkey business that's happening is happening at the vote aggregation location.
That is election denier Patrick Kolbeck, who co-led this training session. He's a former state senator who wrote a book called The 2020 Coup and has a blog filled with debunked conspiracy theories about voting machines.
So right after the primary, there's a group called the Election Integrity Force that was a grift that was spawned out of the 2020 election, where they, you know, all the bullshit conspiracy theories about stolen elections and all that other crap. You got a Republican state senator named Pat Golbeck that founded this group that's really nothing but just a way to pocket money out of Republicans. And the Republican Party hires this group to do training sessions with poll watchers. Well, they got caught. You had the Wayne County chairwoman, Cheryl Costantino, and Golbeck on a phone call. And they are training poll workers in this phone call. And what they're telling them to do is break the law. For one, a poll, you know, if you don't know how it works, which you're going to find out because you're going to go vote this damn election. But if you don't know how it works, the ins and outs of it, each party at each poll has a poll watcher just to keep an eye on things, make sure nothing crazy is happening. If they see something they don't like, they call the county clerk and it gets investigated and documented. And they take a look at the numbers in that particular polling place and make sure that everything is just so. Well, what the Republicans have decided is that they're going to break the law. Laws are not for them. Screw it. We're Republicans. We can do whatever the hell we want. Because right now the law dictates that in Michigan that you cannot have a recording device in a polling place because it's supposed to be a secret ballot. It's your privacy. And you know how much Republicans give a shit about your privacy. No recording devices. No pen and paper, nothing like that for the poll watchers, so they can't document anybody or harass anybody or anything like that. Well, on this Zoom call right after the primaries, they got caught. Old Sheriff Constantino got caught telling them to ignore the law. And, you got old Pat Colback that got caught telling them, well, these restrictions are just against the law. They can't have these restrictions, which is bullshit. They are the actual law, that these restrictions against recording devices, etc. But anyway, Sheriff Constantino tells them, ignore it. Hide it. Hide a cell phone on you. Hide a cell phone on you. Hide a small pencil and a notepad so that if you see something suspicious, and we all know how these Karens work. Now, this is Wayne County. This is the largest, most populous county in the state of Michigan. It includes, Detroit, Livonia, Warren. A lot of people of color live in this county. And these poll watchers, these white Republican poll watchers are going to be just freaking out about every damn thing, that nothing that's going on. It's like when the poll worker that got harassed so badly, Moss is her name. Her mama passed her a mint, a ginger mint, and Republicans claimed it was a USB drive, and she got death threats and harassed and had to hide because she was getting so many death threats over this bullshit claim. Well, they have trained an army of poll workers all over Wayne County to sit there and find anything suspicious. They're telling them that suspicious shit is going on. They're getting these people wired up. And do they tell them to call the clerk? Do they tell them to do what they're supposed to do? Of course not. They're already telling them to break the law. They're telling them to record people. They're telling them to take notes on people. No, they're telling them to call 911. They're telling them to call the police and report crimes that aren't necessarily crimes. It's just whatever they suspect. It's to create mass confusion. It's to scare people. Because believe me, people of color don't like hanging around with cops, and I don't blame them at this point. We need a lot of police reform. This is just to scare people of color away from the polls, and it's to create havoc and confusion on election day. Folks, they said it in their own words. These Republicans are cheating, and we must have the will to overcome them. If you come across one of these crazy asses at a polling place, remain calm. Do not let them trigger you. Don't let them, get you to cross any line. Don't touch them. Don't anything. There will be a Democratic poll watcher there. Get their attention. If they give you any hassle, whatever, they try to call the police, let them. Let them. They can't detain you. Just calmly go about your way, go about your business, and ignore them. The great part is that Diane Nessel, the Attorney General for the state of Michigan, has said she's had about enough of this bullshit. And if these people do create problems, she will prosecute them. She has advised them to not take this advice and break the law. Because if you break the law during the election, she will prosecute these rogue poll watchers, which is a great relief that we have decent people that care about democracy, that want to make sure that our elections can be held without people being harassed or intimidated. I think that's wonderful. I'm sick and tired of these fucking Republicans pulling this bullshit. If you cannot win an election on your ideas, then you deserve to lose. You deserve to lose. And it is not a democracy if you can't lose. So if you try these tactics to try to intimidate people, to try to keep people away from the polls, that's the most first of all, it's the most undemocratic crap I've ever heard in my life. Second, it's not a democracy. If the people don't get to vote and cast their vote and tell the government with their voice, their vote, how they feel and what they want, we no longer have a democracy. And Republicans don't give a shit. So again, remain calm. Don't be intimidated. These poll watchers have no legal authority. If they want to cluck and turn circles, go full Karen, whatever. Don't touch them. Don't scream at them. Nothing. Call the other observer over and go about your way. Y'all have a wonderful day. This is Old Texas Paul out. Again, check your registration, support Democratic candidates, and get your ass out to vote so we could put these Republicans down once and for all. You have a wonderful day.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs, It Wasn't Rigged, You're Just a Loser, at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.